shadows under bright neon lights. Silent whispers in the crypto nights. Stealthy moves as the market turns. Codes to crack and lessons to learn. COTI confidential, the chase begins. Behind the veil where the secret spins. Crypto tales and trading schemes in this forum of digital dreams. Digits dancing on an endless stream. A blockchain pulse like a vivid dream. We play the spy, we play the game. Decoding mysteries, chasing fame. COTI confidential, the chase begins. Behind the veil where the secret spins. Crypto tales and trading schemes in this forum of digital dreams. Digits dancing on an endless stream. A blockchain pulse like a vivid dream. We play the spy, we play the game. Decoding mysteries, chasing fame.
Welcome to episode 14, season 2 of COTI Confidential. I'm live with Soren. How's it going, sir?
Yes, hello everyone. Hello Teresa. All is good. Enjoying the Easter weekend. And
Absolutely.
what about you? You were up late last night having cocktails and tales with the good Miss Jen.
Yeah, up late with and Minnesota, and Canuck finally showed up to say hi. And we're going to do it again next week. It sounds like we'll be doing it every week for the next little while. I know summer gets crazy, but I'm looking forward to doing that. And like I said yesterday, it's a break from the ecosystem talk, even though it always inevitably goes there a little bit. But you know, we just talk about anything. We played a clip from Pulp Fiction. We talked about Jen's story a little bit because I didn't really know it. And yeah, we just kind of vibed for like 2.5 hours. It went fast, and it was really fun. So
Absolutely.
I love that format, man.
Yeah. No, I listened to a couple of the highlights, especially her first interview with Mark. That was fun.
All right, I am, as is customary, I am going to pull up here your weekly update. But again, guys, if you would like to join the speakers panel, please do, and just reach out to either myself or Soren to do so. I guess that's not gonna, it's probably a little bit too small for you guys, eh?
Yeah, it's good like this, mate.
All right, let's do it.
Yeah.
Well, let it rip, buddy.
Let's do it. Yeah, it was a hectic week, as really is the new normal in our ecosystem. But I think actually this week was, what really struck me this week was that how busy we were with education. So I thought I was going to make my weekly update mainly about education. We already have a lot of utility in our ecosystem. We obviously have a DEX in Bangkok. We have a Crafter and NFT plus more portal. We'll soon have a NFT trading marketplace. We have an HR portal. We have AI agents. We have all sorts of things in our ecosystem. So it's really up to us as a community, I think, to inform and educate each other. So that was really the theme of the week, and we had podcasts, we had spaces, and plus today's meetup. So they're all coming in thick and fast. And we started out the week with an excellent intro to Carbon DeFi and their platform, which is full of nice features, especially for COTI community members. You can trade COTI, you can trade GCOTI. They have some really interesting automated trading strategies. And we're going to hopefully explore this a little bit more with Jen and Primal Glenn over the coming weeks, because there's a little bit more to talk about when it comes to Carbon DeFi. We had a podcast midweek covering the why, when, and how of stay.coti.io. So Josh was in the room to explain some of the reasons behind stay.coti.io, but also explaining the reasons behind inviting a handful of us, more than a handful actually, to Bangkok to not only participate in Southeast Asia Blockchain Week, but also to launch stay.coti.io. And this week we had the first, we had the beginning of the live streaming feature, where we got basically 4 or 5 experienced developers that COTI have hired to run continuous streams, to talk about vibe coding, to help coders with problems, and all sorts of things in between. So this is totally an invaluable resource for this particular initiative. A lot of people are going to be able to code, I don't know, in my opinion, 60, maybe 70% of the way to adapt that can be deployed, but they're going to eventually run into a bit of struggles when it comes to the actual deployment on COTI and utilization of the smart contracts, and because that's when it gets really technical. And these guys are there to help them when they reach that point of, okay, I've gotten as far with the AI as I can, the whole front end is set up, everything's set up the way I want it, but now I need to just do that last 30 or 40%. So I think that's absolutely amazing, and it's going to pay huge dividends as stay.coti.io slowly but surely starts to mature. We had an AMA with Crafter as well, with Jan and Rix. So that was amazing to hear. There's 2 guys building all of this is quite amazing, first of all. Secondly, they're dropping some good alpha about their plans for an NFT marketplace and tokenization of real-world assets, which is always a big narrative in crypto in general. So it was an excellent, I think we spent a very good hour with them. And just today, which was Friday, we had you had a very insightful session with Django from UC Talent.
And I forgot to mention, Django was there last night too. So we got to talk to him again. Sorry, I forgot to say that. Sorry, Django. I could never forget you.
And you know what Django and his team is doing with UC Talent is quite interesting. They're merging recruitment, AI, and confidentiality, which is really embracing the whole Web3 mantra. So I'm super excited about that. And of course, none of this, Tracer, and I'm not saying it because you're in the room, I genuinely, you're my friend and you're my partner in crime, but you're also the driving force behind all of this. You've been working flat out for weeks, setting up all these initiatives, all these podcasts, the meetups, the AMAs, so and keeping us all informed. So really, I want to just say I love you, man, and really appreciate everything that you do for us. It's absolutely fantastic.
The feeling, my friend, the feeling is very mutual. So right back at you, buddy. Like 100%. Honestly, man. Honestly.
Super. So yeah, it was a big week for education, and we're going to have many more weeks because we have literally just begun on all the integrations. We're going to have I don't know 40 or 50 more integrations, and just that we know about, plus all the things that will come along in the meantime. But if we can look at a little bit at a few other news that happened, our partners from COTI Agents revealed a new feature where you can now launch and deploy your very own ERC token or ERC private token on the COTI network. And I intend to put Jen a little bit in the spotlight next week, because I'm quietly wondering if this feature will be, whether we sort of will be able to tie this in with Carbon DeFi. Because there are a lot of the projects on the COTI network already that have their own tokens or are looking to launch their own tokens. So Django is looking to launch a governance token, I believe. And Crafter is looking for something similar. And you got COTI Agents, you got Codex, you got a whole bunch of them. And you know, when you have a DEX right there on the network, it would be quite obvious choice to have them tradable there at the very least. So this is an interesting one that we can explore next time with Banco. Codex now feature also, they were also in the news, they now feature no code, build your own AI agent. So I haven't had the time to try and work this out yet, but I'm looking forward to it. Last but not least, and this was a long update this week, but not least, the comments from Vitalik Buterin talking about the importance of privacy, and not least the brilliance of garbage circuits. And I quote him directly here: computation that involves the private data of multiple parties can be done with multi-party computation. The common case of two parties can be handled extremely efficiently with techniques like garbage circuits. So a lot of people have been asking, when Vitalik endorsement, when is he going to talk about COTI? Well, he didn't talk about COTI, but he talks about garbage circuits, yeah? And no one else is going to be doing garbage circuits other than COTI. So I think that's quite an endorsement. And in the context of that, I also wanted to throw in that COTI network, COTI v2, so the new mainnet has been decentralized to some extent from day one, because we've had, I think, 10 or 15 guys, probably closer to 15, running mainnet nodes and validating blocks from day one. Yeah, so amongst them, Stefanos, Jordi, Karapthian, yourself, Sipi, a few others. So I don't know the names of all of them, but kudos to everyone who's been running mainnet nodes. So it's absolutely fantastic. You guys have stepped up, and I'm personally thankful for that, because I think the decentralization aspect of it's an important one for us to get right.
And I just got to mention, Stefanos was instrumental in getting everybody together with tools and figuring out little problems. And he has been chomping at the bit for weeks to be able to announce that we're fully decentralized. So he was pushing the development team to be like, hey, when can we talk about this? Like, what's the holdup? So he was very happy to talk about it. And like I said, he was all over it. He was so helpful with everybody. He's a bit of a total nerd genius when it comes to this stuff. And he was kind of doing things again, like a little bit blind, and he can dig and figure things out. And he also shares and helps everybody get on. So some of the tools and everything, man, Steph, you've been such a huge help for so many years. And this wouldn't have gone as flawless, in terms of getting everybody on the mainnet without you, man. So we really, really appreciate you. And on that note, I got to welcome Unity to the room. Haven't seen too much of him here, but it worked out that he was just available to pop in. So I know he's also chomping at the bit to get on and run his own node. And I'm sure he'll be one of the first second tier cohort to be all over that. So welcome to the show, man.
Hello, glad I could make it. I just came home from the family Easter celebrations and saw that you're online, so I thought I'd hop on finally again.
Welcome, man. Good to
Did it help,
hear you.
that we moved it forwards 2 hours, Stefan? Did that help you?
Oh yeah, that helps a lot because I'm going to bed so early. I've been going to bed so early recently, so this time is really good. So that's a good time for me.
Perfect. So what have you been up to? Well, let's hear a little bit actually about what you've been up to in the NFT universe.
I tell you what, I'm just doing some image editing while listening. So I've been into craft a lot. I've been in touch with Jan a lot. Yes, that's the first project, Quantum Fate Tarot. That was an idea that I had maybe 2 or 3 years ago on Cardano, but then quickly gave up and I thought I'd try it again, and this time it worked. It turned out really nicely. Right now the collection is at Crafter being tested in the infrastructure. They have to make some adaptations, and I hope I will be able to launch in 1 or 2 weeks. So I'm really looking forward to that. And there's a second collection too. Talking to our COTI girls, we were talking about zodiacs a lot. So the second collection is Zodicraft. That is a bit more playful collection. It's about, this one, about zodiac figures made from 42 different materials. And yeah, so that's what I've been up to the last 2 months, actually. And it's all coming together now. And I think it's really great and also great fun to have NFTs on COTI now, because it brings kind of a liveliness also to the ecosystem, because you have so much now technical stuff, and I think NFTs are just a part of crypto, and it's great that we have them too now. And kudos and shout out to Jan. He is doing such an amazing work. He's also great support for all the people who are creating NFT collections now. And also I have to say the speed that it's him and the other guy, is it Rix? I don't know.
Rix,
yeah. I mean, the speed in which they're developing. So they've started with the simple NFT minting website. Then now builders are able to use a minting platform directly on Crafters. Also for non-technical people, you don't have to build your own website. You can directly have the minting page on Crafter. That's amazing. And they're working on a marketplace now, an NFT marketplace that will also be available in the near future. So it's great to see this generally in the whole ecosystem, to see this rapid development that is going on right now. It's really great to see, because we've been waiting so long, and it feels like now it's finally all coming true.
We have been waiting long, and I tell you what, what is the most pleasing thing is actually that people like yourself, Maurice, the Erzkes, everyone, Tracer, even the crafter team themselves, you guys are just grabbing this NFT opportunity with both hands and launching amazing collections and with stories around it and everything, and it's already now taken on a whole life of its own, and I think that's fantastic. It bodes very well for the future. I also think
that is further proof how great the community is in COTI, because there are so many community projects popping up. It's not just the big enterprises using it, but it's very much community driven, and I think that's also why COTI is such a stable project that grows steadily, because it has such a great community.
Couldn't agree more, and this, like you say, this is total evidence of that. Yeah. So that's that. And what else have you been up to, Stefan?
Yeah, I've been also trying to run a testnet node, which also worked quite well. I did some. I think there are some connection errors with the testnet nodes, because too many people were running nodes actually which is kind of a luxury problem, so to say. I've been working with Mark to get a workaround to get the nodes connected with each other, which also worked. So I really have to say, setting up a node works great. So it's quite straightforward. You don't have to be very, very technical. You have to know the basics, but it works really well. And I really can't wait to finally, hopefully, be able to run my mainnet node. So I'm also really looking forward to that.
Yeah, I'm just going to echo what Tracer said earlier. You need to be one of the first names on the list when they finally open this up, because you have contributed not just with NFTs, but with all the work you're doing in the background on the different forums.
The FAQ database, man, it's just been a resource for so many years.
Which I soon have to update. I'm just waiting for the treasury migration, because we need an update, because right now you still need the Viper wallet to access the treasury. So I think, I guess that that's also why I thought I should hop on the podcast right now, because I see there are a lot of questions right now concerning the whole migration, because we're still in quite of a transition phase, and some people don't really know right now where we are when it comes to treasury and airdrop and so on and so forth. So there are a lot of questions. So I thought maybe the podcast also helped. And the FAQ that I should update soon.
Yeah, well, actually, this was one of my first projects when I started vibe coding, was to take your COTI FAQ and update the designs on it.
Yes, we talked about it.
We talked about it. I don't think I ever showed you the actual result of it. We'll get around to that one day.
Okay, interesting.
But yeah, there are a lot of questions. When it comes to the whole migration, my personal view on it, and we don't have anything official, so we have to go with what each of us think is the holdup. I think the holdup's the exchanges. That would make most sense to me, because the exchanges, there are many that needs to be in line for all this to happen smoothly, and they are not the quickest, are they? So
yeah. I mean, I've had my struggles with Binance anyway, so I've been stuck in the chat with them for hours, and I just got the standard messages, but I think I'm sure there are talks in the background, and I'm also sure that it shouldn't be too difficult to integrate an EVM-compatible chain on the different exchanges. So I'm sure there will be some exchanges that will support V2.
No, absolutely. It's just, I think it's just a question of getting them to actually do it.
Right.
I don't think I think this is my personal opinion, but I think the issue is to actually get them to get around doing it. Yeah.
I mean, maybe all of us should write a support ticket to Binance asking when we will have COTI V2 integration.
Yeah, because Binance is obviously the biggest one. Once they're on, most of this could feasibly go ahead.
Yeah. It would just be great so that we are not so dependent on the bridge anymore, because the bridge is such a big discussion. So it would just be nice. I mean, at least we can trade GCOTI and COTI natively now, which is awesome. So that's a big step. And next step would be to have also the transactions between exchanges and your wallet directly on COTI. But I think it will take a bit more time. I also think it was great that V2 started as scheduled. I really think it has been a very tight schedule. So V2 is here. And so the last steps that still have to transition, like the treasury and the exchanges, will come, but we have a working chain. And I also have to say, I'm really... Actual costs are super low. It all works really well, because actually I really expected some hiccups, as you may have with a new chain, but great work from the team. So it works all so smoothly. Also the projects on COTI, I also have to, because I had my troubles with NFTs on Cardano, transaction errors, minting errors, and so on and so forth. But Crafter, for example, also works so smoothly. So it's all really, really impressive, I have to say. For a completely new chain that has been built from the ground up, I'm very happy with it.
Can I ask you one question, Stefan? We're sitting at the number that it shows right now is actually a bit low. It is a bit higher than this. We're sitting at about 11 million transactions, and we're about 3 weeks in.
Yeah.
Is that what you expected, or is it more or less, or?
I didn't expect that, but I think a lot of them are coming from big money. I'm not sure, but I don't know why
absolutely. These mini games are driving millions of transactions, millions of transactions overall. Yeah,
right.
Without a shadow of a doubt, because there aren't that many that have actually integrated yet. I think we're up to 6 or 7 that have integrated.
Yeah, but I think it's great that they test. It's not their main intention, but indirectly they test the capacity of COTI v2, because I think that is what distinguishes COTI from other privacy solutions, that they can handle these massive amounts of transactions and also multi-party computation. And I think as soon as there will be a demand for it, such as for CBDCs, other privacy solutions will be pushed to their limits, and COTI will still be able to handle it. And I think we can see it now, because you can see network utilization 4% with over 1 million transactions per day.
Yeah.
I mean, that's amazing.
No, it is. I mean, it's far more than I had imagined. I had not imagined anything like this. But, it obviously shows that it's fast and it's light.
Yeah.
And it seems to scale very well. Well, I don't know if we can call it scaling yet, because we're at less than 5% utilization. So maybe the scaling can come later.
And also, this is with 50 nodes. I assume the capacity increases with more nodes in the ecosystem.
This was going to be my next question. When we have 30 or 40 nodes, does that increase our volume that we can run per day?
I don't know it from a technical point of view, but maybe we can get some information on this. But to me, it looks like that this is something that can actually handle, for example, a CBDC for a country.
Yeah, I mean, not that it would be, but because a CBDC would run on a private network, I'm assuming it wouldn't run on a public blockchain.
Yeah, but COTI isn't a public blockchain, because we have the confidentiality feature.
Yeah, but I think it would run more like an Axelar thing, where there would be handshakes.
Oh, yeah, right. So so that COTI is kind of the privacy layer, but it runs. I agree with that. Yeah, but
it would run on a centralized system somehow.
Right.
But yeah, no, absolutely, you're right. And also, I'm thinking we talked about just minutes ago that most of this is driven by these Telegram games. Yeah. And there are at least another 3 of these Telegram games coming, probably more. There's probably people building these right now that we don't even know about. But there are at least 3 more of these coming that I know about. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The guys at Big Money's got 1 or 2 coming. And there was a guy in the confidential group the other day advertising that he or she is close to launching another one.
Mm-hmm.
And
what?
Yeah, go on.
No, I just want to say what I also thought about today, because so right now we have about 100 COTI per day as transaction fees. And I just read today that the Ethereum gas fees are so low now, it's 1 cent, that they are basically cheaper than other layer ones. And I'm just imagining, what if we are in the middle of a bull run and Ethereum gas fees rise? And you saw that the migration process on COTI pushed the treasury APY to 80% just because of the little transaction fees that people paid. So I'm just imagining, when Ethereum gas fees rise, COTI gas fees also kind of rise the same way. So we may be at 10,000, 20,000, maybe 100,000 COTI per day of transaction fees that are directly streamlined to the treasury. So that will also be interesting to see what happens there.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the transaction fee model that's described in the white paper is fluid.
Right.
So the transaction fees can fluctuate, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I think also that spike in the APY also could be attributed to this printing of new tokens every 5 days, because 58% of that goes back into the treasury. So I think that's
but it's not that high right now. So I really think it was because you had to pay 2 COTI transaction fees for the migration. And I think it was really this that pushed the APY, that doubled the APY basically. And it's not, I don't know how many, we have 40,000 wallets or so. So basically 80,000 COTI pushed the APY for a few days to 80%. So imagine we consistently have 100,000 COTI of transaction fees, then we're at 80, 100% total APY that you can have with a multiplier and the boost. So with the boost, let's say a 50% APY, which is also just tremendous, such an APY. And that I think the treasury is also something that the world has to see, because I don't know many, if even any crypto project that has a comparable treasury model as COTI, where all the fees generated within the ecosystem are directly streamlined to the holders of the token.
No, absolutely. I mean, look at us today. We're at 1.4 million transactions per day. Yeah. Add in another 5 or 6 mini games. Add in Carbon browser. Add in MetaMask. Add in Axelar. Add in 15 or 20 other of the big ones. My Ethereum, my Ether wallet, Porter, Lava Network. Lava Network had 480 million handshakes in one day just the other day. Yeah. 480 million.
Yeah, we're really just at the beginning right now, because
so COTI running at 30, 40, 50 million transactions per day is honestly not that far away. Yeah. This one will accumulate quite quickly.
And as you said, the confidentiality feature, it is already there, but not so much for the end user. So MetaMask Snap will be published, and the Axelar feature. And as soon as people see that you can have a confidential transaction that is basically legal, because it's not anonymity where you hide yourself, but confidentiality where you only hide the metadata of the transaction, a lot of people will use this. Because I thought about it, I made a new wallet now for the NFT project, because I just want to have my wallet separately. But if there's a confidentiality feature, I can just do a confidential transaction, and I don't have these problems anymore with having everything out in the open. And so I think this will be really big, and the team also really paid attention that this is kind of regulatory compliant, and I'm sure this will be accepted by legislators. Because it's just different than things like Monero and so on that are just a bit sketchy. So it will be interesting to see where the road goes when the whole confidentiality thing has fully pushed in.
Absolutely, and that's why Unchained is part of our ecosystem. They are there to make sure that we stay within the legal bounds. They are sort of the eyes and ears on that in many ways.
Yeah.
So that's great. I mean, people always accuse me of being too bullish, but after listening to you tonight, I'm not bullish enough. That's quite clear.
and what else? Because I've read a lot about Goblet Circuits, because Tracer forced me to right after Goblet Circuits.
I was just gonna say this.
I
the
read
secret kitchen.
I read
Secret kitchen, bro.
I read the research papers and everything, and I think what people don't understand, there is nothing like this out there. A technology that offers confidentiality, can handle these amounts of transactions and multi-party computation, and is compatible with blockchain technology. There is nothing out there like this, and I feel like we need one big player using this, and people need to see how it works in practice, because I don't know of any other project that can handle what COTI can handle right now.
No, you're absolutely
I gotta say,
right.
man.
Yeah,
I gotta say it's so nice to have. I gotta say it's so nice to have you back, Unity. It's great to hear
because
your
I
voice.
talk so much.
Your perspectives are
Yes.
so well respected in our community. So it's great to have you here, man. And I'm just sitting here and I'm soaking it up, and I'm so happy to see you.
You always approach everything from a different angle, and we love that. Honestly.
Yeah.
It's so
By the way, I
valuable.
have a recommendation for the podcast. My German friend Mark, who I've been talking to a lot, who is
Mark is awesome.
He's 100% the same nerd as I am. I'm talking to him for hours. And I think we should put him on because he's also a very, very clever guy and a fast learner.
I think I've invited him a couple of times. It's like, of course, like COTI Confidential, anybody is welcome to join the panel. But yeah, Mark is super awesome. I was, he reminds me of, Steph. He reminds me of Jordy. He's just going to be, and we need guys like you. He reminds me of you, of course, obviously, but we need guys like that coming up. And yeah, he is awesome.
Get him on.
We will force him.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. That's Mark. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Yeah. He's definitely one of the good guys. I want to hear a little bit from him. He's been on the Confidential a couple of times. I can't remember whether he's been even speaking a little bit. So Jan says Mark has a secret he might share on the podcast. What is that? Is Mark in the room or?
No, I think he's on a family holiday. Because I know of the secret. And I can't tell you yet. But he was very stressed because he was going on the family holiday, but I think it worked out all in time.
Very good, very good. Have we got any questions from anyone in the room? I can't see how many are there, and if there's anyone who wants to speak is.
Yeah, no questions right now, just mostly comments. So
right.
Let's see. Might have something here.
Jan.
Oh boy.
Of course Jan has a question. Come on, Jan.
I'm scared.
The French are taking over.
He didn't show up
yet.
last night, so I put him in jail. Put him in jail. No, I can't.
Jan, you know what banner you gotta put next, yeah? On your platform or on your profile. Yeah, that was not the one I was thinking about.
No, not that one. That's not. It's not sized to be a banner. It's no good.
I'm sure Jan can figure that out.
So what else is new in your world, Unity?
Oh, not much. Coming out of the bear market depression right now. It's been a tough bear market.
All right, so perfect. So here's a question, and we talked a little bit about this yesterday, but then we got sidetracked really quickly. So I'd like to hear, with no preparation, is it over? Is the 4-year cycle dead? What is your opinion on that?
It's not, because always when people think the cycle is dead, the actual pump starts. It's always the same. And also looking at the global development. So I try not to be too political, but Trump's tariffs, he seems to move back a little. Also with China, that's one factor. Then global liquidity is really exploding. Then the Fed is about to cut rates. And also we're a year after the Bitcoin halving that traditionally starts the altcoin season. So it looks like everything is coming together. We've also had our wave 1 as we had last cycle. So I have to check on my phone because for European users, you can't get the USDT pair anymore on Binance. So last cycle, just to do some numbers as always, last cycle, the peak of wave 1 was 10 cents. Then the peak of wave 2 was about 50 cents, and the peak of wave 3 was 70 cents. And our wave 1 had 30 cents right now. So now we're in our wave 2 that went downwards, and now we are all waiting for wave 3 is always the biggest wave. So we are waiting for the big pump right now. So we had our wave 1 at 27 or 30 cents back in February last year. Yes, yeah? February last year. Then our wave 2.
What about wave 2? So wave 2 is basically that downward momentum that we've seen.
And if the 5-wave structure works out, wave 2 has to stay above the the lowest point of wave 1. So wave 1 started at 3.6 cents. And if the bottom was the bottom was at about 4.7 cents now. And now we all hope that, yes. So the first pump was in February, and then it went all the way down to where we are here. And as you can see in the last cycle, we've had a small pump, and then one big pump and another big pump. So it's wave 1 is up, it's a small wave, then wave 2 is down, wave 3 is always the biggest wave. Then comes wave 4 down and wave 5 up, and then the bear market starts with 3 waves, 1 wave down, the second wave up, and the third wave down, and then the next cycle starts. So that's kind of the wave structure. And it looks a lot like last cycle with bigger time frames, I have to say. But we also have to say that the wave 1 was before the Bitcoin halving, 2 months before the Bitcoin halving. So it kind of makes sense that this downward trend goes on for a longer period of time, because we've started too early with the cycle. And so it feels like it's a bit stretching out right now, but it looks like a pump could happen any day now. I hope so.
One question on this. I mean, I generally don't talk a lot about price, if at all, because it doesn't really interest me that much. Of course, I like the green candles more than the red candles, etc. But what are your thoughts on the increased amount of institutions investing in crypto in general, be it Bitcoin or Ethereum or Ondo or any of the other tokens that seems to be favored by institutions? Is that going to affect market cycles, this increased institutional interest
I
in
think
crypto?
I think in the long run it will, because once crypto has really gone mainstream, because crypto is not mainstream right now. I don't know what percentage of the world owns crypto, 10%, 15% maybe. But I think what will change about crypto once there are these Bitcoin reserves and so on, I think then crypto will become less volatile. I think we won't have those 10x, 50x, 100x moves and then 99% down. I think this will flatten out and become more like the stock market. Probably still more volatile, but that's my opinion. Once crypto goes more mainstream, crypto will become less volatile. So maybe we see now the last big bull run. We'll see. I mean, there are a lot of talks of banks offering Bitcoin, also China legalizing crypto again. Also, different companies using blockchain technology. CBDCs are on the rise and will start in the near future. And the thing is, the crypto market is still so small. I mean, when I read how much did the S&P 500 use in one day, 2 trillion. That's almost the entire crypto liquidity lost in one day and then regained. That's how small the crypto space is.
Yeah. What do you think about a coin like COTI specifically? Because we could potentially, depending on how the whole CBDC thing and privacy and how well this is received in the wider non-blockchain world, there could perceivably be some institutional interest in COTI going forward. Well, how do you see that affecting COTI's market cycles?
I mean, I think it's generally time now for utility coins. We've had our meme coin season, and I think now it's really time for the utility coins. I really believe that we will have kind of a renaissance of the utility coins now, and which will also attract kind of non-typical crypto investors, but outside investors like institutions and companies and so on. And I think this is where the future-proof projects are, at this intersection between, crypto and the real-world use case. And I think that's also the bigger vision for COTI, that people will be using COTI without knowing it, because it's running in the background. It's running as a privacy layer. And I think that's how COTI is positioned for the near future, I hope.
Very interesting. Yeah, I tend to agree with most of it. I think the whole picture is a bit muddied at the moment with all the tariff stuff and all the jockeying positions amongst the big powers of the world.
Yeah, and I also think this. Oh yeah, sorry.
No, go ahead, and then I'll jump in.
Okay.
It's all good.
No, I just want to say, the whole confidentiality thing is also so abstract, because I think people can't really grasp it, because I think all the time what it could be used for, and I always have to think about research. So universities all over the world could exchange data on blockchain, decentralized, confidential, and do multi-party computation on it. It's such a massive use case, and they wouldn't even know that it's running on COTI. It would be an infrastructure that the international research community builds with COTI as a privacy layer, and then you have climate data, you have financial data, you have health data, and everybody in the world can use it for their research.
We are nowhere near bullish enough.
Yeah, without revealing any confidential information. I mean, that's really the future.
Yeah.
So I've been holding on to this comment for a little while, so I'm going to bring it in here from Noak. And I guess I kind of have a question back at him. What did you mean? So there's Privex coming, right? There's Codex. There's who else? There's another one, COTI Agents, right? So, I mean, COTI Agents is already doing that, but they're not fully on V2 yet. So I don't know if one of you wants to take this question.
Well, I can say that COTI Agents is not fully operational yet. I think they're thereabouts. I think Codex is a little bit further back, actually. What are your thoughts on this, Stefan?
I have not so much information about these projects. I know a little about COTI Agents. I think they are quite on track with their project. I mean, they will offer trading AI agents, which will also be a big deal. But I'm not quite sure how far they are in their roadmap. I'm also wondering, so maybe they can also come on the podcast at a certain point, if they will migrate their token from Base to the COTI mainnet. That's what I'd be interested in, because those who have invested have all bought the tokens on Base, and the project is actually running on COTI. So I'm just wondering how that will work.
I think we need to also talk to Carbon DeFi about this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I think maybe
I know that
maybe I think there are some discussions, but I'm not at all sure.
Mm-hmm.
So I know one of the next ecosystem partners, AMAs with me, is gonna be Privex, and I'm really looking forward to that one. And maybe it'll even work for Unity to jump on that one. That'll be fun. We'll see when they what time they come back with, but they're that one will probably, I assume, be announced in the next week or so, and I'm really looking forward to that one. The interface is beautiful. They're doing a lot of real things, and they have a very close relationship with COTI, right? So I expect that that one's gonna be good.
I think it's a good question from Noak here, because my impression is that most of us know how to go in and set up the AI agent. That's as easy as 1, 2, 3. Yeah. But training the AI agent, deploying the AI agent, knowing that the AI agent is actually doing stuff, and that's not specifically for COTI agents, it's for all these other AI agents as well. I can't get my head around that. Yeah. I need people that are a little bit smarter than me to help me work for now.
I mean, we've had that question before, because I remember when AI agents started, a lot of people asked, so what's the difference between an AI agent and ChatGPT? And the difference is that the AI agent can work completely autonomously. It's autonomous. So for example, let's say you have a supply chain. There is a company that ships product A from there to there. And then there is a problem because that ship has a technical problem. Then an AI agent can solve this on its own. It can book a new ship, pay the new logistics company, or there are so many different use cases. So basically, AI agents can do tasks on their own without anybody saying, please do that for me. And on COTI agents, you can basically build an AI agent and trade them. That could be a typical AI agent is custom support. Answering
but how do you train them to do these things? How do you train them? This is my
That's a
big
good question. But I think
no
there are
idea
people
how
out
to
there.
train them. Yeah. It's really
And let's not forget COTI partner Chains Atlas, who I got to talk to at length in Bangkok. They're building some cool stuff, and I did a one-on-one with the founder, which should be out soon, I hope. And maybe we'll do an AMA with our community soon.
We are actually extremely covered on AI, aren't we, Tracer and Stefan?
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting to see, who gets there first. I'm really excited for Privex, though. That's what they're talking about is really, really cool. But the range trading on Bank or Carbon DeFi that last Monday there, wow, I love it.
And I've got it on good authority that on the next episode with Jen, we're going to go into this a little bit more, because COTI actually was on a very tight range for more than a year. So if we look at that 0.6 to 10 cent, call it a tight or a wide range, you can call it what you want, but we were in a very, very narrow range for a very long time. And we didn't get to have a proper look at what would have happened if you had set a buy low, sell high automatic strategy for 1 year there.
Yeah.
Because that's one of the things you can do on Carbon. You can set a buy low, sell high strategy, and you can run it for a month, 6 months, 1 year, whatever you want. Yeah. And it's probably best for those periods in between bull markets, when we sort of get to near the bottom of the bear market, and then set that thing running for a year.
Yeah,
it's quite good, I think. But it's super clever. That was really the whole point of it. Novak also asked when we need Treasury V2 live on COTI. Any news on that? Yeah, we covered it a little bit early in the program, Novak. So we're not quite sure what the holdup is, but we think it's the exchanges. Because we can't have this native token all over the place unless the exchanges are set up for it. And it's not that it's difficult, it's just that the exchanges are not super fast. So that's my personal opinion. Tracer and Stefan might have different opinions on this.
No, I'm going with you on that. I defer, man, this is what you were pumping my tires a little bit earlier, and I'm going to pump yours. You are those weekly updates. I rely on them heavily, right? It's just like when I used to rely on Ship and Unity, and I still do. You know what I mean? It's hard to keep it all together. So I appreciate you, man, and I wouldn't argue. I think it's a good point.
Maybe concerning the treasury, we should say people should still leave some COTI in their Viper wallet, because I've also encountered some people who got their G-COTI stuck in the Viper wallet because they didn't have any more COTI for transactions fees. So I also know a lot of people haven't even done the migration yet, which is also fine. So there is just a few weeks of transition period right now where you still need the Viper wallet to access the treasury, but it will come soon. And I also wrote it on Telegram today. Everybody should make sure to link their MetaMask in the treasury, because this will be a smooth transition. Yeah. After the migration, you just use MetaMask to log into the treasury, and then you can use it as always. Your tokens will already be V2. So I personally have 95% of all my tokens in the treasury, because then there is no problem. There is a treasury migration, then I log in with MetaMask, and I don't have to use a bridge or anything. So that's how I personally prefer it. And now I just wait these few weeks until the treasury migrates.
It's
absolutely
just like with any EVM. I think we've all done this with Ethereum, where it's like you're trading, and then you go back and you're like, oh, I have no gas, right? Especially when the fees get expensive, right? So you need to think of COTI the same way. Is you need to always have, and that's why it's nice to have the treasury kind of like pumping little bits into your wallet if you're staking, right, every little while. But yeah, always keep some dust, or think of it as gas, because you're going to need it. Luckily right now it's a fraction of a fraction of a fraction.
Yeah.
You barely need anything to transact.
And still, it's really useful. I also had to thought about that when working on the NFT collection, that I of course have to pay for it, and I'm using the treasury rewards now. And as we have more and more dApps, it's really useful to have those rewards, because you can just use the rewards to interact with the treasury system while your basic fund's still generating rewards for you. So that's also really great, and I can only recommend it.
And I think it's a big point you make about everyone. So I'm going to try and amplify this in the coming 7 to 10 days. Everyone needs to get their Viper wallet connected to their MetaMask. Yeah. Because if you want to have a smooth migration and you don't have this, then you won't have a smooth migration.
Yeah.
You'll have a migration somehow, but it won't be smooth. Yeah,
I mean,
so
we have to say,
you need to get that Viper wallet integrated with your MetaMask and get all that set up.
Right. I mean, we have to say the funds are always safe. So even if you forget it, your funds are not lost, but it will be more complicated. It will probably be a manual process. So the easiest way is to just link MetaMask and you will have no problems.
I agree.
Yep. Well, I feel like that's a great spot to let her go. What do you think, Soren?
I think so. I think that was amazing. I'm so happy you could join us today, Unity.
Yes, because I'm still awake.
Really missed having you on these. So maybe we should keep it at this starting time going forward.
Yeah, it's good for me too.
What time is it for you, Tracer, right now?
Started at noon, so it's 1 p.m.
Oh, well, that's not too bad. Okay, so yeah.
Yeah, and I would go a bit earlier, but it's it's finding what's best for the community, right? So
yeah.
Any parting words, Unity?
See you next time.
That would be great. I mean, that would be great. I can clip that, and then you'll be stuck.
And force me with it.
What about you, Soren?
Look forward to having you here next Sunday, and thanks to everyone who joined us tonight. It's been brilliant as usual doing this hour with everyone. So thank you very much for that. Thanks to Unity, thanks to Tracer for setting it up. And I'll leave the last words to the one and only Tracer.
So I gotta say that with the screen share and everything, but we would like to see more speakers. So don't be afraid. You do not have to turn your camera on. You just come up and speak with us, right? We want you guys to come back. And feedback is always good. So if you don't like it, I think we're going to start running spaces in tandem with this. So you'll be able to just dial in that way. But feedback in terms of times, if you'd maybe like to see a show once a week, during the week, or sorry, not once a week, but during the week sometimes, that would be great too. But on that note, thank you both for being here. Come up and speak, guys. We really want it. From coast to coast and around the world, this is COTI Confidential. See you next time. And I'm going to play us out with one of my favorite songs from this week's AMA with Crafter. So we'll see you guys next time.
See you guys next time.
No coding skills, not a problem. We'll get it done at Craft.